One of the things that the U.S. does, its intelligence services, is it collects what's known as signals intelligence, which is electronic communications that take place between targeted officials. So in this case, what we learned is that the National Security Agency, the NSA, was targeting communications within the Kremlin. And this is something they do all the time with mixed results. On the night of the election, and in the days that followed the election, you saw in these communications more of a celebration that was breaking out within the Russian communications. It's not entirely clear what the nature of these communications were, whether it was the equivalent of an email or whether it was conversations that took place over a secure phone. But in these messages, they were basically telling each other that the outcome was better than they had expected. One of the challenges of for the intelligence community is trying to figure out the motivations of foreign leaders. This is very difficult to do, and Putin is one of the hardest targets out there because he doesn't communicate on an electronic way. He doesn't use a phone. He's not sending emails and so on that the U.S. can monitor directly, or at least as far as we know. So trying to get at motivations is very difficult. And this piece of information, these communications intercepts, would be seen within the intelligence community as one piece of the puzzle. They would want to have what's known as human intelligence. And it's also, I think, important for people to understand that signals intelligence on its own can be incredibly misleading. People lie on the phone. People may lie because they know that they're being listened to. They may just want to impress people that they figure are going to be listening to the call. They know that, not only is the National Security Agency potentially listening to the call, but Putin himself and his own intelligence services are listening to the call. So it's very important to keep in context here that signals intelligence is not the end-all be-all. I think the most important takeaway here is this remains an incomplete picture because the administration in the end is going to have to keep a lot of the evidence secret in order to protect what's known as sources and methods. Because if Putin and those who are in the intelligence services in Russia, based on information that's put out, can determine how the U.S. is getting its information, they might then change up how they communicate, which would prevent the U.S. intelligence community from getting similar information in the future.